Reproducing by cutting is ideal if you are interested in cultivating your own favorite species. The plants will grow up evenly, you save money, and the risk that your plants get infections from outside are diminished. The most important condition for making good cuttings is a healthy mother plant. Put the starter plugs on a cutting tray and dip the tray in water. A tip: add trichoderma to the water. This stimulates root growth and provides protection from molds. Dip the tray with the starter plugs in the solution and wait until the plugs are saturated. Find a good shoot. Cut the shoot on the bias from the mother plant. This is your cutting. Remove the biggest leaves from the cutting. This prevents too much evaporation. Dip the cutting in the rooting powder or rooting gel. Wipe excess powder gel off because too much rooting powder has a negative effect on the root formation and plant growth. Use trichoderma powder as well to kill possible present germs. Squeeze excess water out of the starter plugs. If they are too wet, mold will be formed. Place the cuttings in the holes that you made for this purpose. At the beginning, the leaves of the cutting will be limp. It will disappear automatically. It is convenient to use a cutting box. If you don't have one, a plastic box covered with plastic film will do. Open the slide valves of the cutting box for ventilation before you place the cutting tray inside. Sufficient air is important for the plant. It prevents mold. Cuttings grow perfectly well under strip lighting. Make sure that the humidity in the box is minimal 75%. The cuttings will root best if the starter plugs are not too wet. Do not water the blocks for a couple of days. When the plugs get too dry, then dip the tray in water again. Be aware that the cuttings get irreversibly damaged if the starter plugs get too dry. After 7 to 10 days, the roots will be visible and the cuttings are ready to grow. Koga is the newest product for cultivating plants, according to highest professional standard. CANNA Koga consists of a unique mixture of coir and shredded cocoa husk. The coarse cocoa structure is able to hold a large amount of the complete nutrients available, as well as moisture and air. This fact alone makes this medium superior to all other growth mediums. Koga is compressed and dried, so it is very easy to store and to transport. There is a fine and a rough side to a board. Make sure that the rough side is downward facing to ensure good drainage. Koga needs to be soaked and buffered before use. The result of buffering is that calcium and magnesium will form an irreversible compound with the cocoa particles. Koga buffering agent has been developed for this purpose. There are many ways to soak a board. The easiest way is to put the boards upside down in the tray. Cut a hole in the plastic and saturate the boards using a hose connected to the nutrition tank. The Koga board, with its initial volume of 3 litres, will transform into 17 litres of high-quality granulated cocoa mix. Leave the boards to soak for 24 hours. Make incisions for drainage. And turn the boards. Allow the excess solution to drain out. The growing medium is now ready for planting. Start fertilizing with Koga Vega. Koga Floris has been developed for the entire flowering period until the last week before the harvest. It is possible to use Koga up to 3 times without any problems. If you reuse Koga, We advise you to rinse the substrate thoroughly with a double dose of cannazine after harvesting. Any accumulated salts will be rinsed out and helps to clear out old root material. Allow the rinsed substrate to rest for a day. And you can start again.
In order to measure nutrition concentrations and acidity in peat, cocoa and soil, you have to dissolve the present minerals in water. The dilution factor that is used differs from country to country. In Holland, we use 1 part substrate in 1.5 parts of water. With the results, it is possible to take steps and adapt the nutrition pattern if necessary. In order to define the nutrition condition of the substrate, we start by taking a sample. The sample has to be a representative average of the root environment. Scoop a bit of substrate out of the root environment from as many as possible different spots. Put the gathered substrate in a bowl. To measure correctly, the samples must have the right humidity. The air pockets need to be saturated with water. If the substrate is too dry, it needs to be moisturized with demineralized water. It is moist enough if water runs out of the substrate when you squeeze it. Fill a measuring jug up to 150 milliliters with demineralized water. Add substrate up to 250 milliliters. Stir well and let the mixture rest for at least 2 hours. After that, the substance is ready to be filtered. Measure the filtrate.
If the EC is lower than 0.6, then you need to increase the nutrition concentration in the nutrition tank. If the EC is higher than 1.2, then lower the nutrition concentration by adding water, or rinse with clean water.
A good pH lies between 5.2 and 6. A pH that is too high or too low can be adjusted by altering the pH of the nutrition upwards or downwards with CANNA pH adjusters.